Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in German of Helen Weickowski, my mother who passed away on Saturday morning in her sleep. She had suffered from dementia for the last couple of years. People to know that we put her into a facility the last 7 months. She survived by my dad, Eugene Anthony, who's 95 years old, and she has a twin sister, my Aunt Sophie in New Jersey. So there's 7 of us kids. There's 12 grandchildren, grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren. My mom was never the president of any club or a church group or published any articles. She was just a mom. You know, she raised the 7 of us and never really aspired to be anything but a mom. Hearing my brothers and sisters talk about her, there's things as an older brother that you just never caught. She made it real clear to the little kids that if there was a classmate at school that didn't have lunch, that they were supposed to bring them home to our house, that they would have something to eat. I just didn't know that. In the early 70s, when I just got into high school, after my Bouchard's grandma passed away, my mom went back to work for Mervyn's. Fremont was the #2 store in the Mervyn's trilogy. The first one was in, the Empire of Mervyn's. So she was in store #2. Knew Mervyn Morris would come and take them out to lunch. She was in center aisle. For all of you, I'm not being sexist here, center aisle is sort of the area where they have the handbags, the jewelry, the accessories. You know, if you don't know what accessories are, go ask somebody who does, but that was her deal. And she knew everybody, all our friends that grew up, and they would go to Mrs. Weickowski and get accessorized, I guess it was. And another memory that I have, and I'd like to share it with all of you, is that making sandwiches and eating sandwiches is a big part of the Weickowski family ecosystem. You know, there were 7 of us, so especially the little ones, remember 9 sandwiches being made. The boys got 2, but all the girls got 1, and my mother knew Mary wanted cream cheese and jelly for some reason, but she knew everything that folks want. And what I didn't realize is that our friends all knew about those Weickowski sandwiches, because if there was a meatloaf left over, I would have this chunk of meatloaf, and it was with, you know, lettuce, tomato, cheese, especially something like meatloaf, I'd have horseradish in it. And my brothers and sisters' friends would come by the house after I went away to college to have one of Mrs. Weickowski's sandwiches, because they liked them so much. So if you guys have time in the next week, you know, have a sandwich. Maybe if you don't normally put lettuce and tomato or cheese on it, have a sandwich. She was we're going to miss her, but this was her time. So thank you, Mr. President, for allowing me to adjourn in memory of my mother.